Ow now, brown cow. The arsonist has oddly shaped feet. San Diego. Hi, Mom.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to episode 1 of BS Sports Talk with your host today, yours truly, Steven Swires, and my co-host,
Brandon Calloway. Good to be here. Good to be here and talk some sports, make some picks, talk football.
Yeah, I'm ready to get this thing finally off the ground and running. So a little bit about what this podcast will be about. We're going to be talking, just two guys just BSing over some sports talk. So it's going to be, you're out on a Thursday, Friday night, Saturday night, and you're with your buddies having a beer, having a whiskey, and you're just BSing about sports, sports lines,
A lot
betting,
of BS.
a lot of BS. We're going to be talking lines, we're talking games, upcoming games, past games, some records, and some really, really, really bad takes. So, subscribe, hit the like button, and get along for the ride with BS Sports Talk. So to start week 1 off, Brandon, let's talk a little bit about some NFL that's coming up within the next 10 days, week and 2 days, next Thursday.
Yep.
So about a week away from NFL, we're going to be talking some offensive player of the year, some MVP, and everyone's favorite, especially your favorite, big college guy, rookie of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Can these rookies come into the NFL and make a name for themselves? And someone's got to win.
Someone's going to win. That is 100% certain. I will say that.
Someone's got to win.
Lock it in.
So let's start off. Let's leave the rookie of the year for last.
Okay.
Let's start off with our favorite MVP takes. Would you like to start us off, Brandon?
Sure. Yeah. So my
MVP.
and I don't have the live odds right now, but I'm going with Jaden Daniels. I know we talked about this a little bit last week and who we liked. And most people, you worry about a sophomore slump, right? I think Jaden Daniels is such a dynamic quarterback and has got that can do baseball, you call it a 5-tool player, right? I think Jaden Daniels can beat you in 5 different ways, it feels like, and I think the Washington Commanders are going to take another step forward. It wouldn't shock me one bit if they challenge Philly for that division. I know you being a Giants guy don't want to hear that.
I do not.
No, but the Giants have no hope, and I think the Commies got it, and I think they're going to ride the shoulders of Jaden Daniels. I mean, you don't too often see someone come out of college in year one take let's be honest, a sorry franchise like what the Commanders have been, and previously the Redskins for the past, I don't know how last time they made playoffs, but year one to go make the playoffs, take Detroit toe-to-toe, didn't they, in that first round game?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they beat Detroit in the, was that the divisional round?
Oh, yeah, maybe. They did win that game.
Yeah, they won the game. I believe it was the divisional round. They beat Detroit to go to the NFC Championship game last year.
Lost to Philly.
And they lost to Philly,
That's right.
who, of course, we know as the Super Bowl champs last year. So, yeah, that was coming in. Jane Daniels did a phenomenal job of turning that franchise around. And as a Giants fan, as you said, very sad we didn't get him. Wanted to trade up. I believe it was Joe's son on Hard Knocks said that his dad should trade up to get him, and he didn't do it.
That's very true. That did happen.
Maybe his son should be GM of the Giants.
Yeah, why not?
So I got a line for you right here. It's plus 750 for Jane Daniels. So
Okay.
My only argument there, I don't mind the pick. I don't. I'm down on the commies this year.
Oh, yeah.
I do believe that he will have a nice sophomore slump. And I don't really love the number.
Boo.
I don't love the number, honestly.
What would it have to be for you to bet it?
At least 10 to 1.
10 to 1?
10
really?
to 1. Yeah. 10 to 1 because you got names like just looking at this list here, you got Lamar, you got Josh Allen, who pretty much have won the past, I believe, 3.
Yeah.
They went toe to toe last year for it.
It does feel like year in, year out, it's going to be one of those two guys, but this, yeah. I guess most of my reasoning for this pick too is just getting out of that. What are they, 3-4 to 1, that or 5-1,
Yeah, they're both plus 550.
five
So
fifty? Yeah, so
really no
get.
value there.
I feel like to get this show off the ground, I just don't want to pick a favorite right now.
I would totally agree with you. I would, if you would have picked one of those, I would had the complete same argument with
Right.
no value.
Yep.
Plus
Absolutely.
750 is a little better. And one of my picks could potentially be even lower than that. So
Ooh.
stay tuned. So yeah, I don't mind the pick. It's good. I think another argument that I'll get into my pick later is I think you can get Daniels higher later in the season or the same odds.
Yeah.
If the Commanders start, say, I don't know, 4-2 or 3-3, which probably realistic. I don't know their schedule off the top of my head, but if they start
Yeah.
relatively
I
close to
mean,
500,
yeah.
you could probably get the same
You could
number.
definitely see a little bit of like a quote unquote Super Bowl hangover with them, right? Because they've gone from just poverty of a franchise to all of a sudden overnight they're contending for the division,
Yeah,
winning playoff games.
yeah, and those are always hard fought games in that division. So, but yeah, I don't mind the pick. Let me throw mine at you,
Oh,
and it's a little bit of a longer shot here.
good. We love long shots.
A little bit of a longer shot. A lot of people are down on the Detroit Lions this year, and I'm not one of them. Give me Jared Goff at 30-1
Oh, yucky.
to win the MVP
Yucky.
award. And this is a straight value play. If I had to take anyone on this board right now, it would be Jared Goff. They lost Ben Johnson as the OC. Yeah, okay, whatever. But he's been in the system long enough now to where Dan Campbell trusts him
Yep.
to run that offense. He has the weapons he needs to do it.
Oh, yeah.
The only argument is I could see Jane Daniels, your guy, or Lamar or Josh winning it.
Yep.
Other than that, obviously Patty Mahomes is always there. You got Joe Burrow, which stay tuned. That's my other pick there. But I think the value for how the Lions have looked is there. I mean, I believe he threw for 4,600 yards last year, almost 40 touchdowns.
Yeah, I don't hate the pick at all. I mean, you just need a distributor on an offense like that, right? You got just weapons all over the field. You got two stud running backs, Jahmyr Gibbs, my boy at Alabama, which we'll get into him a little later too. Obviously, J-Mo's kind of coming into his own. I mean, it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't. I don't think it shocked a lot of people that he became wide receiver one in that offense. I think Amon-Ra gets all the credit and all the attention, right? But when J-Mo's healthy, I mean, he's just one catch away from he's the perfect correlated parlay guy, right? Under 3-4 catches, but over 100 yards.
I will say though that
Pay for rent for the week.
recently that is true in the recent years, but I think in the coming years he's going to be a big target guy.
Start feeding him more.
Yeah, I think he's going to get more looks. Like you said, you mentioned Amon-Ra. He's our target guy. He's going to be the one to move the chains. J-Mo's the big guy over the top, but
Yeah.
I think J-Mo gets a little more targets and a little bit more of a chain guy or a dual threat. So he can move the chains.
Yeah.
He can beat you over the top.
Yeah, and Goff's great quarterback. He's a smart guy. He's not going to turn the ball over a lot. They're going to take care of the football. They're going to win a lot of games. Like you said, people may be down, but I think you can pretty comfortably slot them in for 12, 13 wins minimum this year. So
Yep. Again, another tough division. You got the Bears coming along nicely.
no, boo, no way.
You got the Packers, of course, always there. Vikings somehow win. I believe it was 14 games last year. Don't think that's going to be a repeat, but we'll see with JJ there. JJ McCarthy, that is. JJ to JJ, that's going to be a connection.
JJ squared.
JJ squared.
J cubed.
So,
J to the fourth.
And then the only other argument for Jared Goff is a lot of people say he's a game manager, and I think he proved last year that that's not the case. He can go out and win the big game, which he didn't win the big game, but he went out and win some games on final drives. He took his team into his own hand. He took the team into his own hands, and he drove down the field and won the game for his team with the weapons that he had. So, I think at 30-1.
Oh yeah, the value's there.
I think you're getting great value. I think by the end, when MVP talk comes around at the end of the season, I think Jared Goff is lower than this number.
Yep, don't disagree with you there. I think it's a good, solid value pick, and he's only got so many games he plays outside, right? He plays in a dome.
Mm-hmm.
That's the knock on him.
The dome is nice too. The dome is great,
The
and
dome helps.
that was a lot of the reason why people were taking some Detroit Lions in fantasy. Took them in the years past. Don't have to deal with weather.
Yep, for sure. Good pick.
And then I will just throw my guy Joey Burr into the discussion. But this is another one of those guys. He's plus 650, so even lower than Jaden. But the argument here is, I think he can win one. Hate the value though. Plus 650, not touching it. I believe you could also get him lower when the season goes on.
Yeah, I feel like for him, you're right, at plus 650, the value may or may not be there, but I think he's going to throw for a lot of yards this year. Just hint, hint.
All right. That is all for MVP talk. Let's go ahead and move on to Rookie of the Year. You want to start us?
I got this. I got this. So you look at the board, and you've got two big dogs are the favorites right now, Ashton Genty and Cam Ward. Let me tell you first why I hate those picks, because we talked about value with Lamar and Josh Allen. Didn't even get to it.
We love value.
So let me tell you two reasons here. One, Cam Ward. Two, no, I'm kidding. So Ashton Genty is the running back for the Las Vegas Raiders. Let's just think about that for a second. What are the Las Vegas Raiders going to be this year? I mean, do we have much expectation for them?
Maybe 6 wins. Maybe.
Agreed. So that is not a very good script, right, for Ashton Genty. And the other thing too that makes me nervous about running back specifically coming out of college is look in the conference they play. If you come out of the Big Ten, SEC especially, you're playing NFL guys day in, day out, right? Who's Boise State playing in conference championship games and just on their random third, fourth Saturday of the year?
Didn't they get rolled in the college football playoffs?
They did.
They had a home game, I believe, because they had a bye.
I think they held their own for a little bit.
Did they?
But when you're down and you've got to get the ball to Ashton Genty, it was great. Don't get me wrong by any means, but Genty's not gonna be what you think in the NFL. I don't think. I think he's gonna struggle to even have a 1,000-yard season. I know he's pretty high on draft boards too. I would avoid him there, but that is reason A. I ain't touching that line less than. I need 6-7 to 1 at least on him to be putting money there.
Yeah, I think the line is plus 275 for Genty. No value.
Yep, agreed. And Cam Ward, obviously the first pick overall, plays for the Tennessee Titans again. Script's more there for him, right? Because I imagine they were chasing a lot. But I just don't believe in that team. I don't believe in his receiver core. You got Calvin Ridley. I don't know who else they're looking at over there.
I believe Calvin Ridley might be the only big name they got. They got a couple other guys, I believe, that came over from trades or signings, but no one big.
And if you look again at the conference he comes out of Miami, the ACC, a little bit better, a little more respectable conference for sure, but those ACC defenses are just weak. I mean, they are throwing guys that aren't NFL guys, they're tryout guys, if anything, week in, week out. As soon as they go play a top team, a decent team, even like the Clemsons of the world and whoever, they fold like a lawn chair. I mean, I'm not saying that he may not turn out to be great. I just don't see it this year. That leap from college to the NFL, as we know, it's very difficult, right? It's a totally different animal. So I just don't see Cam Ward doing that right off the bat. I think he's got the size and he's got the arm to eventually turn into a solid quarterback at the NFL level. But at the line that he's at, I don't love it either.
Yeah, not year one for Cam Ward. I'm aligned. Plus 350 is his line, just like Genty. Honestly, I don't know why Ward is not the favorite. Don't know why Genty's the favorite over Ward.
Yeah,
simply because he's a quarterback.
Right?
Quarterback, they go towards these awards similar to the MVP awards. Quarterbacks is what are looked at for rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year. And yeah, with these two top guys, I'm not seeing the value. Now, either one could win it, but we saw this last year with Caleb. Caleb Williams was the heavy favorite.
Oh, yeah.
And now you only had two big, well, I guess you had Bo Nix that came out last year that turned into something, but he wasn't really talked about, right after the draft. It was really Caleb and Jane Daniels. Now, Daniels won it, but Caleb was the big favorite last year.
Right.
Both quarterbacks.
Yep.
So.
Yep, definitely don't see Cam Ward coming into the league year one and rolling like Jaden Daniels did, right?
Yep, absolutely
So
not.
so with that, I'm gonna move on to a 16-1 line, and I'm gonna go with Tetaroa McMillan, wide receiver one. You heard that here first. Wide receiver one, Carolina Panthers. And let me tell you why. Tetaroa, we're calling him Ted here because that name is just a misery to freaking pronounce. Sorry, watch the language there.
It is a
Anyway,
good name, though. It's a
he
good name.
he comes in year one, 6'5" frame. If you look at Bryce Young and what that Carolina offense is going to do and started to do last year, which we'll get into Bryce Young a little bit more later in this show, they're going to be that pass game is going to be solid. The script is going to be there. They're going to probably be around a 500 team. They're going to be in a lot of games. And I'm going to make this point a couple times in this show too about the AFC South and how just miserable those teams are and those defenses are. If we're here picking AFC South games, every divisional game, I'm picking every game over. I don't care what the conditions are. If Hurricane Katrina's rolling through New Orleans and the dome's open, it does not matter. So I'm going to go with Tet McMillan to just carve up these NFL secondaries and Bryce Young to really look at him to be the go-to guy because Bryce has finally got stud like what he had in Alabama when he was there and really succeeded and starting to figure the game out a little bit. You got Leggett coming back. I think he's going to start finding his own a little bit. Thielen's gone, but Chuba Hubbard's, he's a dynamic back too. So I think with the way that offense is going to run this year, it's going to be very pass heavy, and I think McMillan's just going to step right into that role. So at 16-1, I mean, that's my favorite pick on this board for player offensive player rookie of the year, whatever the hell we're talking about.
Offensive rookie of the year. Yes.
Offensive O'Roy.
All right, so I do. I won't dispute any of those points, honestly. I mean, Bryce kind of came into his own last year, the last few games of the season. Little guy for an NFL quarterback, little guy. But I think he's figuring it out. There's a certain type of way that you have to play in the NFL compared to how he played in college. He's definitely, I mean, you can see it on the tapes. He's definitely figuring that out.
It's the same Cam Ward point, right? Like you go to just a poverty franchise and what do you expect out of a guy, especially with a first overall pick, Heisman type guy? I mean, what do you expect out of him?
Yep, they all can't be Jane Daniels.
Right. Agreed.
But yeah, I love it. At 16-1, great value. I absolutely can see it happening, unless my guy here, Omarion Hampton, takes the offensive rookie of the year at the end of the season. So running back for the Los Angeles Chargers, in a great got drafted 22nd overall by the Chargers. So they used some good draft capital on him. I'm actually not sure where McMillan got drafted. Probably first, second round as well, I would assume.
Just snuck out the top 10.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So good draft capital there. They're going to use these guys that they draft, that they spend draft capital on. These GMs know, we're going to use these guys. And that's not to take anything away. Obviously, Cam Ward, Genty, top guys as well. But the Chargers love to run the ball. He's 6 foot, 220. He's a size of a good running back in the NFL. Yeah. The only competition he had was Najee Harris, who of course came over from the Steelers, has great health history. Comes to the Chargers in the offseason and gets hurt. I don't believe there is a timetable for his return yet. He's definitely out week 1, I believe. Probably week 2. It might be on the PUP list, might be out 4 weeks to start the season. So this is Omarion Hampton's backfield to get in and start running. Yep. He gets 15, 17, 18 touches a game, and he makes those touches worthwhile. He can run away with this backfield, even if Najee Harris comes back.
Yep.
I don't know the years of which Harris signed. It's probably like a 2-year deal. That's kind of what these running backs that switch teams do. So he might be there for 2 years or so. But they didn't spend I'm sure he didn't get a huge amount of money like the Saquon Barkleys and these other big Derrick Henrys and these other big running backs. So they're probably okay to kind of put Harris on the back end and let Hampton show what he has and use that frame to translate into the NFL. And the Chargers aren't no slack. We talk about Genty on the Raiders. Not a great team. We obviously don't know what that team is going to look like this year, but in years past, most recently, not great teams. Chargers have proved that they can compete
Yeah.
in that division, and a lot of people are picking them to beat the Chiefs and beat Denver
Yeah.
in that division. I've seen some division winners for the Chargers, and if that happens, obviously Herbert, obviously his weapons on outside, but they did get Keenan Allen back.
Yep.
But Hampton is definitely going to be a big part of that offense if they do go on to win that division and eventually make their first real playoff push this year, which a lot of people are talking about. And I think he's plus 850.
Yeah, that's a solid number. I mean, if you want to go, if you don't want to go the QB route, right, and you want to go that running back route, definitely over Genty. That's your pick there because I would agree. I think the Chargers even regressed a little bit last year, but I still think people consider them a playoff team. And you got Justin Herbert back there slinging the rock, and McConkey came into his own last year. And I mean, all the points you made, I think, are solid. And Hampton's one of those guys too that was in college for a while, played at Tar Heels,
Yep,
Tar Heels
UNC.
for a while.
Yep.
And
UNC
it seemed like every week betting on college football, you look at Amari Hinton's line was 122 yards.
Oh yeah,
So
him and Genty, the big guys.
this guy's going to come in and be a bell cow back, just like Genty is. But I think you're right on the script, and I think it's going to favor him a lot more than Genty will.
So I think if you take those two guys, McMillan and Hampton, I think if you place wagers on both, you have some good value, and all you're hoping for is Genty and Cam Ward to not win it.
Right, not to light it up.
You're betting against those two guys.
Not to prove our BS take wrong.
Yeah, so offensive rookie of the year. Some good plays for you guys. Hopefully one of those come through.
Lock it in.
I know I'll probably be placing both. Honestly, nothing in yet for either one of them. And Hampton's line actually moved down. It was above 10-1, and it has dropped since these lines have opened. It was pretty hefty. Yeah, 4-6 weeks ago. It's been some time, but
Gotcha.
definitely locking in something. One of those two have definitely got to be placed.
Yep, agreed. Good picks.
So we're gonna go into one of my favorite markets, offensive player of the year, and I love this market just simply because the MVP market is for the quarterbacks. And this market right here is for the most valuable offensive player for their team, non-quarterback. You had Saquon Barkley win it last year. Obviously, unbelievable season. For a while there, people were talking about 2,000 yards. Was the record in doubt? Was he going to beat the record? Clearly, obviously, didn't. Could have. I think they sat him the last week.
Yeah, they asked him too there at that little snip with Sirianni asking him, and he was like, no, I don't need it.
Yeah, so that breaks my Giants' heart. He's a big character,
tough one to swallow.
Big character guy as well as the best running back in the NFL. So so we lost both of that. That's good. But offensive player of the year, I'm just going to throw him out. CeeDee Lamb at 20-1 on most books. I'm big on this Dallas Cowboys offense this year. Not sure about the defense. Don't know if Michael Parsons will be playing. That just helps the cause. Dak Prescott, get into him later, but he will be slinging the rock all over the field. And I believe this is CeeDee's year. He will be pushing 1,600 yards easy, might be pushing 170 targets on the year. If he stays healthy, will catch over 100 balls. And that's what it takes to win this award. As long as a running back does not have the year that Saquon Barkley had, no one's touching it. Because if it wasn't for Saquon, Jamar Chase would have won it last year with his year he had for the Bengals. And I think CD could repeat the year that Jamar Chase had last year. I don't think it's too far-fetched.
Yeah, no, I agree. It seems like those top dogs, the Tyreek, CD, Jefferson, and Jamar, it's like they kind of flip-flop every couple of years because, like right now, it's Jamar, right, as the guy because of the year he had last year. The year before that, or last year, like at fantasy drafts, he was, 2-3 behind Tyreek and CD. So it seems like CD's kind of slipped down to that 3-4 slot maybe, and it's time for him to go back up to the top of the stock.
Yep. And we'll get into more of the Dak talk later, but I think Dak has something to prove in Dallas. And if he does that, being a non-QB award here most of the time, his guy's going to be CD. So if he has a year, CD's got to get in, got to get his as well.
Yeah.
So
And I think the script will be there too. I think Dallas will be in a lot of games, but if they're not going to take a step forward, they're going to be a non-playoff team again, right? So you're going to expect a lot of come from behind, a lot of passing, a lot of primetime games because of the Cowboys, right? That's when CD shines. Seems like every time he's playing on Monday Night Football or Thanksgiving, he's going for 150. So good
yep,
pick, solid.
I love it. Love the pick. And at 20-1, I, I mean, the value is there. A lot of these guys up top, like Jamar, is I believe 6-1 or 5-1 or something like that. So he could very well go out and win the award. I mean,
Oh yeah,
with the Bengals, but at 6 to
we're
1,
not we're not here to pick favorites
yeah, at 6-1, not taking that. We're here for the value. We
Yep.
love the value.
for sure.
All right. Moving right along. Anything else you want to talk about before we get into the NFL season long?
No, I think we still got a little time to figure out week one and see what we like, see if there's any last minute cuts, injury reports come out. Probably
Yep.
fantasy draft week, see who we pick on our teams, and probably have some more leans.
Yep. Got drafts over the weekend. Excited for those. Excited for the season to start. We still got a week, so plan is to do some week one picks. Maybe give just a full board review, and maybe some division winners, conference winners, Super Bowl picks, preseason, before the season starts. So, but all right, let's move into our season long. Which has been a dandy to get in. Let me tell you, we live in Missouri, which has passed sports betting, but it is not legal. Which Missouri for you.
Oh yeah,
So it has been a complete almost year before since Missouri has passed the law, and it's still not able to be bet on. So I think the date's December 1st. Let's hope that stands true. But we love our good neighbor of Illinois because they have legal gambling, and we track over there to make the bets.
we love some East St. Louis around here.
So let's move right in.
All right,
Pick one.
Yep,
Take it away, Brennan.
Season long, we got a 6-legger here. So first leg here, we're gonna go with my boy Jahmyr Gibbs. We already kind of touched on a little bit here. So his rushing line on the year is 1,075.5 yards, which even with a 2 running back system, I don't think it matters. I mean, he went for 1,400 last year. He clearly became the number one go-to guy. Obviously, Montgomery was hurt a little bit. I could see him maybe regressing just a hair. But either way, the script is going to be for the Lions. They're going to win 13 games. We already touched on this. They're going to be at a lot of games where they're up 2-3 scores second half, and it's just going to be handed off to Monty and Jahmyr. And Jahmyr's, as everyone knows, I mean, we saw it at Alabama. We saw it a little bit at Georgia Tech before. Georgia Tech alum there.
Shout out Georgia Tech.
Shout out Yellow Jackets.
The Yellow Jackets.
And buddies, I mean, it seems like every time he touches the ball, he's just one step away from being gone, from just breaking off a 50-yarder. So let's say he misses a couple games. I don't see any way he's not getting a 1,200 minimum. And maybe Monty's hurt most of the year, and maybe Detroit's in some more games than they'd like to be, and he goes for 1,700 yards. I mean, it wouldn't shock me one bit. Obviously, the passing game that he's part of will eat away some of his yards, it feels like. So maybe this overall yards is a play, but we're going to stick with rushing yards, 1,075.5.
Yep, I won't touch on it much. Love the pick, obviously. I took Jared Goff for an MVP caliber player. Obviously, if Jared Goff wins that, they win a lot of games. Winning a lot of games, a lot of good, great game scripts for your running back, and he is RB1. So it's pretty much a no-brainer. And at
Lock it in.
1,075.5 yards seems pretty easy. So leg one down. Let's move into leg two, who is my boy. And I hate to say this, hate to call my boy, but of course I'm big on Dallas this year. Like I said, it is Dak Prescott. Over passing yards, the number is 3,875.5. 3,800.
That's it?
And 75 yards. Yes. Not even in the
thought
fours.
It was 4. I thought it was 41.
Not even in the fours.
Oh my gosh.
Unbelievable line for Dak. I think this is pretty much disrespectful. I don't know if they're putting in a injury aspect to this line or what, but I think this line is way too low. I mean, Like I said before, he's playing to prove himself as the QB for the Dallas Cowboys. You know, Jerry Jones has been known not to screw around if something ain't working out. You know, he'll just get rid of you. He'll bring someone else in, or
Yep.
he'll bench you. So
Yep. What's I guess the only and I love that pick too because that line just seems absurd for what Dak does year in and year out when he's healthy. That's where I'm going with that.
he's
So
got to stay healthy.
do we know the rule with prize picks or which is what we're probably going to use for this of the injury bug for season
I
longs?
don't off the top of my head. I believe it's half. No, it's more than half games. I believe it's 10 games played
10 games
out
played.
of 17 games, 18 weeks, 17 games. I
Feel
believe
pretty
it's
comfortable with that.
10 games played. Um, so yeah, I mean, the last full season he was healthy. He had about 4,400 yards in his career. He averages about 260 yards a game. Um, right now, I believe Parsons is still not signed. Like I said, just opens up more opportunities for Dak. Defense is going to be in shambles. Even if he does come back, I mean, it's a week before the season. They got to get in rhythm.
Yep.
Hopefully, he's been staying in shape, but you know, there's been times before Zeke where they come back and they were running or enjoying their vacation in Cabo. So
Cabo Wabo.
so they have
Shout
not
out.
been in game shape. So who knows what Michael will bring? But I like the chances either way if he's there or not there, because Dallas will be in close games. They'll be throwing the ball, and to win games, they're gonna have to score some points, and they don't really have a rushing attack.
Yep, I was going to say that too. That the running game seems to be pretty non-existent for Dallas. I mean, it was okay last year, but I just who are they running back there in the backfield?
Javante Williams from the
Javante.
Broncos,
That's
they
right.
signed.
That's
They
right.
brought him in, and actually, I believe in the preseason game, Jadon Blue, sorry, Jadon, just got hurt. He was actually there. I believe they just drafted him. Correct?
Yep, out of
They just
Texas.
okay. Big college guy here, so he's my
From
college
Texas.
guy.
Shout out Big X.
But yes, he got hurt, so their ground game is not going to be too great this year, at least to start the season. Maybe Javante has a jolt, kind of finds his own way in
Yeah,
a new home in Dallas. But
I could see it. I just you feel like the Dallas Cowboys for the past what 10, 15 years now, going back to what DeMarco Murray days up through Zeke and all that. It just felt like they were always had just a ground and pound, the big Cowboys O line, and it just feels like that Dallas Cowboys era is gone now, right? So
yep,
now it's they put all their money into CeeDee Lamb and Dak can feed them the ball. There's no question about that. So yeah, at this line under 4,000, I'm shocked at no brainer,
yeah.
no
Um,
brainer.
so leg two. So first two legs down. And let's go into your boy.
Let's head back to the University of Alabama Crimson Tide alma mater here, and we're going to go Bryce Young over passing yards. Bryce Young 31.99.5. If you divide 3,200 by 18, 17.
17 games.
17. I'm an idiot. I had my notes here too. That is 188 passing yards per game if he plays all games. That's a joke. So we already touched on this a little bit with the AFC South being just a crap division. Those games are going to be shootout overs, I think. You got Ted McMillan coming in, already hammered him. You got Bryce kind of finding himself in the Carolina Panthers, starting to establish a little bit of a pulse, to be fair. If you look at the second half of last season, actually, Bryson had finished seventh in Pro Football Focus's QB rankings. So I think as long as he continues or just maintains that trend, doesn't even have to keep trending upwards, which I think he really will take it a step up. I
I
mean,
agree.
Chuba is going to start catching more balls out of the backfield. I think he's become one of the premier backs in the NFL. He was averaging, I think it was like 20 or 220, 230 a game in those last 10 or so.
Yep.
I just don't see how Bryce isn't throwing for 3,200 yards this year. It's just he's one of those guys. Obviously, that leap from college to the NFL was a little bit too big for his britches. Let's call it. He's a small guy, right? So it's going to take him a little bit to figure out. You go from the University of Alabama, just premier school, to the Carolina Panthers that haven't been relevant since Cam Newton played there, and the hell is that 2012? I don't know what year that was.
Yeah, I think 12 was one of his big years. He had a
So
few there, but yeah.
so
Yep, no,
obviously real wide eyed, but you could you can clear as day just tell that he started to find it last year, and that offense started to find a rhythm. So Bryce over 3,200.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it. Love it. A lot of people kind of, I wouldn't say big, but big, I guess, on the Panthers. I mean, they have showed that they are capable of staying in some games, and like you said, that division trash.
Oh
So,
yeah.
getting what is it, 8 games in division, 2 each, or 6 games in division, 2 each. I mean, that's 6 games right there that he will probably more than likely have some big games. And plus, finishing last in the division, he'll probably have some easier ones across the division. Love it for leg 3, Bryce Young overpassing. And now on to leg 4, who is another one of my earlier in the show's MVP picks. Don't love the number, but still can win it. And Joe Burrow for the Bengals.
Don't love the MVP number. Let's be clear. We love this number.
Yeah, love this
Okay.
number. Don't love the MVP number. This number over a 41.99 and a half. So 4,200 yards he needs on the season. And he averages about, say, 230. I believe it's 230 or roughly 230 a game. And I mean, he plays all 17 games, averaging 230 a game. That's easily going to get him there. And he's going to have some 500-yard games that he's throwing for.
Yeah.
Especially with Jamar Chase. If those two can stay healthy, they're going to put up some big numbers. Once again, they got something to prove this year. They started last year slow. Hopefully that has changed. They kind of changed up the preseason a little bit this year. He played some more in the preseason. Their whole offense played some more in the preseason.
Yep.
So hopefully they can start a little faster and not be behind the 8 ball like they were or like they have been in years past, really.
Yeah, I think similar to Dak and in my view in this line and just Joe Burrow in general is can he stay healthy, right? So as long as we get those 11 games out of him, I think we'll be okay. Obviously that offensive line scares you a little bit.
Yep.
But I think they spent a little bit of money on
I think they did bring some guys in there, and then they spent some money on the defense, which they absolutely need. But yeah, I think they spent some money on the O line.
Yeah, we could care less about the defense. We just need the O line to be
That's true.
Protecting Shiesty.
That's true. Well, the defense actually will make a difference because if the defense are giving up points,
well, that's what we want.
Joe Burrow's throwing that rock.
Yep. Since he gut the defense, spend money on your O line.
So yeah, and the only other point there is, I mean, obviously you got Jamar Chase there, but T. Higgins just got his contract. He finally got signed after getting franchise tagged, I believe, 2 years, at least one, but maybe 2. Finally got his contract. Big weapons. I'm a big Chase Brown guy this year. I believe he can catch 3-5 balls out of the backfield. He can get out in space and make some 20, 30-yard receiving gains for Burrow, so that even pats it a little bit better for him. So
don't neglect Jermaine Burton, my guy Jermaine.
I didn't forget about your guy Burton. Deep ball threat, even though all of them are. I mean, T. Higgins.
He's a threat to public safety too. Let's just be real.
Wide receiver 3 there. Was this year he got drafted? Or was that last year?
No, it was last year.
Last year
he played a bit last year.
A
lot of trouble last year, but played just a bit.
Was he suspended?
I think so. I think the team suspended him. I think he had some trouble with the law for a little bit. So we need you, Jermaine. Need you to get that head screwed on right.
But yes, that's another weapon as well. Another year under his belt, half a year, maybe a third a year. But nonetheless, that's just another weapon for Burrow. So yeah, that is leg 4 of the season long. And Brandon, over to you. Let's hear leg 5.
All right. So Michael Penix Jr. I've seen this line at 18.5. PrizePicks has it at 19.5. Either way, it just feels absurd that this isn't well into the 20s. If you look at Bijan, who's going to be probably the star of the NFL for couple years to come at least, he's going to be the star of fantasy football. The way I see it, he's catching 5 or 6 minimum out of the backfield. You got Drake London's probably going to catch 9 or 10. I mean, you've accounted for 16 touchdowns right there and 2 players. Now, if Kyle Pitts can, I know he's the talk of the meme world right now in fantasy football folklore and all that, but you got to expect he's going to catch a couple as well, right? So from there, you need what, Darnell Mooney and the rest of the gang to catch you two
Yeah.
through 17 games. So, I mean, that's that's all my argument there. 19 and a half touchdowns, Michael Penix.
Yeah, I just truly believe. I mean, it's just simple math. I mean, you play 17 games. He's not going to throw. He should throw a touchdown a game. Um, and you're telling me he can't get 3 games with 2 touchdowns? Like, so I believe if he starts, I believe this line is also um, hindered because maybe they think he gets taken out for Kirk Cousins.
Potentially.
Maybe that's why it's so low. And that's definitely a possibility. But, they took this guy with draft capital last year. Like we were saying earlier, these GMs and these organizations, they take players to use them, not to sit them. So
Correct.
they want to see what they have in the guy, give him a full season. And if he plays a full season, I believe 20 touchdowns is easily achievable.
And the Falcons don't sign Kirk Cousins last year if they don't fully anticipate using him for majority of the season, because I think they thought they had the team to make a playoff run and whatnot. But obviously Kirk just regressed for whatever reason, if it's just losing JJ or whatever it was. So
probably that Achilles.
You don't throw Michael Penix into the fire if you don't plan on him being the guy and Kirk being there for backup or just being a veteran, just being a leader for him.
Yep.
And then you also got a solid backup too, right? So if you do put in a good season and you're going into whatever, I don't know when their bye week is, but call it 10-5, 10-6, season's about over, and Penix goes down for some reason. You're not in shambles, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. And Kirk Cousins would be one of the better backups in the NFL.
Oh yeah. Yeah. As much as he didn't show that last year, I think he'd still be happy to have him if you're a Falcons fan and you're sitting in like a 3-4 seed in the playoffs. So
yeah, I could see if Penix has a good year and he stays healthy all year, shows signs of some really good improvement. I believe Kirk could probably get traded in the offseason. I believe he signed a 4-year deal, but I think, and I don't know what the salary would be, who would take that on or whatever, but I think Kirk does still have some life in him.
Well, he could be a good trade piece too. I mean, how many times do quarterbacks go down on playoff teams? And if Michael Penix shows that he's legit,
yeah, he could even get traded before the trade deadline this year.
The Falcons,
to a team a team that has the pieces and wants a veteran quarterback to go there and take them maybe for a playoff run. So yeah, no, absolutely. But bottom line, if Penix plays all 17 games, I believe this line is way too low.
Oh yeah, big Kirko like.
And we'll roll into the last leg here. This will be a 6-legger. Obviously a long shot. We like long shots here. Value. And the last leg is DK Metcalf over 66.5 receptions. I'll touch on it a little bit and then throw it over to Brand. He's with a new team. He's with the Pittsburgh Steelers now. And bottom line, Aaron Rodgers loves his veteran receivers. He does not trust the young guys. He does not look at the young guys.
He hates them.
And he looks straight to his veterans, which is why he brought in Devontae Adams to the Jets. He likes guys he knows. Obviously, he doesn't know DK, but both veteran guys. He has seen the way DK has played, I'm sure. He was obviously, he signed after DK, but I believe that Rodgers was always going to go to the Steelers. So he might have had some talks into that DK. I believe it was a trade. So I think if DK or if Rodgers can, stay healthy on the season, he will look at DK about 8 to 10 times a game, and he will get his catches. So Brandon, anything you want to add on to that?
I don't know the order of it, but obviously DK's not going there if Rodgers didn't want him there, and vice versa. I mean, we know the prima donna nature of Aaron Rodgers at this point in his career. He kind of gets what he wants. And then you just look at the frame of DK. I mean, think about all these cold games that you're going to see playing in Pittsburgh. Thursday night game when Cleveland's playing Pittsburgh and there's 20-mile-an-hour winds and 10 inches of snow on the ground. You got to move the chains a little bit because you're stopping the run. DK's the guy you're going to throw one-on-one balls to, right? So, he caught 66 last year. Full disclosure, we're going back to the well here. We had DK touchdowns last year. It did not turn out well.
I blame Geno.
I blame Geno and the rise of JSN for sure. So we're going back to DK. I mean, I just don't see how he's not into the 80s this year. Even if Pittsburgh's going to be a mediocre offense, they're still going to finish 500. Mike Tomlin ain't letting that record go. So, yep, DK receptions. Just catch some balls, feed them.
Yep. And the only thing I will add, just one small more point there is, he's going to be a red zone machine. He always is. DK, that back shoulder, throw the ball up, let DK get it. So even those little additions in the red zone, obviously that's why we took his touchdowns last year. He's a big red zone target. So he's getting targets me more catches. So if he's targeted in the red zone, those little catches, maybe 10, 12, 15 catches over the course of the year, can really add up when you're looked at down there, because not everyone is looked at in the red zone.
Yep.
So
Yep, he almost feels like a tight end more than a
Yeah.
receiver at this point, right?
Yep.
Which we know Rodgers loves his big tight end, so
Yep.
he'll like throwing the Fryermuth, that's for sure.
Mhm.
But DK is going to be the guy.
Yep. I think we see.
Change of scenery too for
Yep,
DK.
I think
and
it'll be
Football
good.
Town.
I think it's good for him. Be good for Rodgers, veteran guy, like I said. Um, so there you have it. The NFL season long for the 2025-2026 season, 6 legs. I'll pop them up here. So you guys can see.
20-1 we're getting? That's what that is?
No, it
40
is.
to 1.
I believe it's 37.5 to 1. I'll pop it up here.
It's because we got to use
Over
prize
here,
picks.
there,
Shout
there,
out prize
here.
picks.
Yeah. So, yeah. So if you guys are in a prize pick state, go ahead and tail it. Ride with us throughout the whole season. We'll give you updates on the show every week, how we're doing.
We'll have a celebratory drink every time someone crosses the line.
Yep. Every time someone crosses, we'll take a nice little a sippy poo of a nice whiskey, a nice bourbon or something. So, but yeah, so that's the NFL season long. So we gave you that. We gave you some futures preseason for you guys for the NFL season. And I think that just about wraps it up. Anything else you want to talk about for the NFL as far as, preseason bets or futures before we get into, the gritty of the week to week picks, and maybe just board rundowns. Not sure what we're going to do yet. Maybe not the whole board, but definitely going to do some probably standalone games, some Thursdays, some Sunday night games, some Monday night games. Those are always fun. Build a little.
Probably some touchdown lays, a couple
touchdown
prop lays here
lays.
and there. We gotta have a couple of lottery tickets, right?
Yep. Love value.
Value tickets.
Love the value. So yeah. All right. Anything else, Brandon? You want to chat it?
Nope. Pumped for college football.
All right. So this has been week 1 of the BS Sports Talk with your hosts Steven and Brandon. And we will be back for week 1 of the NFL in just a few short days. Signing off. See you.